I felt really privileged to be able to do it. You know, I'd spent all this time with Dad. I'd given him a few months of just doing whatever he wanted. We talked about stuff. We had a great time together. There were no regrets about anything. Nothing was left unsaid. There's nothing that I could feel bad about. It was really to be there with Mum and Dad and to make sure that Mum wasn't trying to do everything on her own. So I thought I'll move home, I'll stay for however long I'm needed and then I'll move on. I had no idea what was going on. And nobody really told me. There's so many things we would have done differently if we'd known that. We would have made more opportunities for the grandkids to come around and things like that before their pop was too far gone to actually talk to them. So yeah, we would have done things differently. In that last few weeks, everything moved so quickly that I didn't have a lot of time to think about it. We didn't even get to think about things like, what do you do when someone suddenly becomes incontinent? And we were changing the bed 3 times a day. Well, it didn't occur to us that there are products you can buy either to put on the bed or on the person that are going to help with that. And nobody told us. So we had no idea what really to expect, what it meant when there was nothing more that could be done in terms of curative treatment. We didn't know what the next step was. And because we were expecting that the hospital would make the referral to palliative care because doctors make referrals to other doctors, that's how it always works, we just thought it was all going to happen for us, and it didn't. She'd say, you know, I'm just going to get the GP to prescribe this in case such and such happened. And then the next day, such and such happened. She did that twice and I kind of twigged that she was preparing me for what was happening next. And over that week, the life expectancy got shorter and shorter. And I think that was a real blessing for me because it gave me an idea of what to expect. I wasn't scared when it happened. I understood it. We all worked really well together as a family. We're all very different, very, very strong personalities. And some of us haven't always been close. My eldest sister would come quite often and she was really there. She was kind of our light relief in a way. She'd bring joy and laughter to the situation. My second sister was my major support and the one I'd talk to when I didn't know how to handle something. And my brother was just this constant reassuring presence because he lived really close, so he'd come very, very often. And it was beautiful. For the next 48 hours, we were all with Dad at different times. So my sisters and brother, who were quite a bit older than me, they would sit with Dad and talk and tell stories. Then, you know, Mum would be with him or I'd be with him. And it was the most beautiful thing. It was peaceful. It was perfect. You know, he was surrounded by the people who loved him. He was not in pain. He hadn't had any pain with his cancer. And he was just loved. And I am so grateful that I could be there for him and for Mum. But I got far more out of it than I put into it because I know there's nothing more I could have done for my dad or for my mum. I think my key piece of advice would be that you need to be able to talk to someone, have access to someone who can help you in those situations where you've got no idea what to do. And let's face it, pretty much everything you encounter when you're caring for someone who's dying is something that we don't know how to do these days. We've lost that ability to care for people the way it would have happened in my grandparents' era.